Blah blah. Well, I can see stuff appearing and suddenly disappearing. And I have no idea why. Well, let's take a look. I think it has to do with our referencing in shooter or mic entity, yeah. Mic entity last shot. Alright, so other thing to check is when we are calling the start and end calls. Are they right? Okay, looking at debugging log, things look, I mean, the sound still is being handled the same. Coffee. M onset state equals 0. So this is the point when it goes to a definite off state. And this is when we call... I get it. Not only do we have to release it, we also have to say it's null. Otherwise, we're going to constantly change the size. And I just realized what our problem is. You see this? 1.0 times time step, which is probably like 0.01 or something. 60 times a second anyway. We're scaling by a 0.01 I'm not being very coherent. We're scaling by a very low number because I was trying to add and I just had the call wrong. So that should not be add, but that should not be scale, but add instead. Add size instead of scale size. Yes. Let's try this on for size. There's no pun intended at all, I promise. I wouldn't do that. Alright. So we're about to get really positive. We've got our code building. I can switch this over to the Mac view. Oh. I wish I'd just shut up. So it looks like it's working, and the collision's still... Oh, you couldn't see that. I'm going to restart the app. I gotta learn to shut up when the app's running. Alright. Hidden build. Okay. And once it runs, I'll try to shut up and just sing and make long noises to show how the thing grows and shrinks. Hello, how are you doing? I'm going to keep talking and you're going to get bigger. You should keep turning into a round square, and you shouldn't get smaller until I stop. So it looks like it's working. Let me try middle size. Now let me talk slower. Now let me talk slower. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Now we can generate objects of all kinds of sizes. And It looks like this captures things at the sentence level. But I can also do quick, snappy things, and it should catch those. Yeah. So now we can get objects of all kinds of sizes just by talking into the microphone. And that's kind of nice. That's pretty much what we wanted for now. So I'm going to stop debugging, and we can do the next feature, which is, so what do we do? Okay, this is not the best to-do list. Yeah, we did this as well. Okay, I think that's a better place to put the okay. Change the sign objects to newly recorded buffer objects. That's right. So currently when I'm talking into the mic, nothing really happens. There's no output of the sound. You just get sine tones being generated. And we're going to change that. We're going to create a new object called maybe input entity. Yeah, I'm going to call it input entity. It's not really a good word. How about yeah, I'm just going to call it input entity. I could call it mic input entity. That'd be a little more specific. No, because that sounds the same as mic entity. Ah. What do you call something that's been inputted besides input? Last time I checked, dict was broken. Oh, it works again. That's great. They got the servers back up. So the source says access, entrance, entry, import, income, ingoing, ingress, ingression, insertion. Reception's kind of nice, but nothing really hits the spot. Alright, we're just going to create some class. For now, I'm going to call it input entity. Oh, you can't see that, can you? So this should be a Cocoa file. And this can be Objective-C file. There's nothing, it's not going to be touched in the audio callback or anything. So yeah, Objective-C class. Sure. Yes, please. And this will be input entity. And this is the last chance. Let's brainstorm for 5 seconds. How about speech entity or something? Voice entity. I kind of like voice entity because this is going to represent voice. And that takes the ambiguity away from the hardware mic problem we're having with input entity. Voice entity, ns object. Great, let's do it. Yeah, I'll put it in the classes folder. Alright, so voice entity.h. It's there. Great. And now we can make sure we never touch it again and use Emacs. It looks like my video camera just crapped out. Seems to like doing that, but fortunately I don't think we need it anymore. I'm gonna do a quick test, see if I can get it back though. Well, we'll see how long it lasts. Last time, once it got into this state, it would constantly go back and forth. Alright. We have a new file called mic entity. No, voice entity. .m. And we are going to steal sign entity, sign block .m. Is that right? Sign block.h. It's a snakeable entity. Yeah, at first I wanted to do like a Katamari style game. Or something like that old game, what's it called? It wasn't Snake or Die. Snake, Rattle, and Roll. You ever play that? Yeah, I probably spent a lot more time than I should have, because some parts were just so difficult. It was like the hardest NES game. Like Battletoads level. Maybe not Battletoads level, but I don't think I ever passed Snake, Rattle, and Roll. You could essentially chain up lots of balls to create your snake, and when you killed certain monsters, they would drop a ball, and you would gobble it up, and it would come out of your butt. In that sense, it's really like Katamari style. This is way before Katamari, of course. But anyway, I implemented this kind of thing where you could chain any of the entities within this iPhone app, and it works. But I ended up taking that out because, yeah, I wanted to do this voice thing for one, and it was overcomplicating things. So I don't know if we need it to be a snakeable entity. That actually could be useful, and it won't hurt. I mean, yeah, it's not gonna hurt. So let's take it. We can always take out the snakeable entity and replace it with normal physics object. Yeah, this isn't going to hurt at all. Well, if it does, it'll be a efficiency thing, but design-wise, I don't see a problem with it yet. Voice entity. Wait a minute, I'm in the M file. What the hell am I doing? Good question. Yeah. Alright. We'll need these gen textures, because right now I don't have an artist, and it's also fun to come up with your own textures. Yeah, they could end up looking pretty original.